Peace, peace. Another glorious day, y'all. Another glorious day. I hope everything good with you and yours. Earth, us, peace. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's You know what I'm saying? I'm saying I already see them likes going up. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Whoever just hit that like button just now, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? A great deal. A great deal. Off the rip, you came forth. Hey, y'all, what's up? Us. You already know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as I like to show up, you know, it's been somewhat of a challenge lately. You know, for good reason, though. You know, for good reason. Us. Salute. You know what I mean? Yeah, we in the building. Indeed. But of course, let's get to it. Yeah, hitting these burpees today. I'm gonna see what's good. You know what I mean? The day is beautiful. They said it's gonna rain a few drizzles, you know, but I'm here and, you know, I'm gonna put forth what it is that I can extract from what it is we able to take advantage of. You dig? On that type of time. Yes. But of course, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, listen, always positive. You know, at least I'd rather be in that space. You feel me, AR? You know, we talking about being positive, but I definitely rather be in that space as often, you know what I mean, as I can. Straight like that, you know? Straight like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all that negativity weigh you down, to say the least. You heard? To say the least. You know what time it is. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's huh? We getting in motion right from the start. The burpees, the way the burpees at that, let me tell you. These are, yeah, now I know they pink, but these are 12-pound dumbbells. It's metal. They just coated with that like plastic. Listen. You hear that? You heard that? Look. That ain't plastic. It's metal under there. You hear how it hit that concrete? That's metal. Yeah. Yeah. So we doing the weighted burpees today, and I'm gonna get some more work in. You know, this is just a very much needed exercise routine. Very powerful, as I always mention. So we tending on those. You know what I mean? We're gonna have some dialogue, and but let's put forth this work, and we here, huh? But of course, 20 in. Lost my count. I think I was at 50. So I'm gonna go back 10 reps and start back at the 40 count mark, or the 40 reps completed. We at 60. Lost my count again, so I'm gonna start back at this point. I know I covered 70 within the amount of reps that are accounted for the routine. So I lost my count by like 10. So if I didn't lose my count, this would have been my 80th rep count at this point from the last set I did. So I'm taking that back to 70. Let's get it. So finally, we got that hundo in there. You already know we in here. Facts. That's what's up. Shout it out. Did some yoga, a little stretching, push-ups, all while fasting. Salute. That's what's up. Big discipline. Big focus. Huh? Big staying the course, fresh. Keep it up. Great work. I'm great, man. Great day to be alive. Absolutely. Good stuff. Get that money. That's right, fresh. Yeah, y'all. Definitely shout it out. Give yourself, you know what I'm saying, major props if you know that you doing what you're supposed to do. Straight like that. Yo, we just hit that 100 reps. You know what I'm saying? I got the weighted burpees today with the 12-pound dumbbells. Haven't done these in a while. We out here, so it's very much needed, and we're gonna do what it do. Of course, let's go. Let's get it. Let's Hope I was in camera view for that one. Let me know if I was in camera view for that last set. Appreciate that. Thank you. Good vibes only. You know? They come forward with bad vibes. Bad vibes is what they're gonna receive in return. Yeah, we $150 in on those. Yeah. Very demanding on the body. Got the heart rate up a great deal. Stamina on fleek, you know, on that type of time. T.R.T, total relentless training, on that type of time. Hus. All right, something. So I got 200 weighted burpees, less than an hour, 40 minutes. We at the 40-minute, 33-second mark. Again, a quick 200 with the weighted 12-pound dumbbells. Haven't done them in quite some time. I know I could have did better. Definitely, for even with that 200, you know, I could follow up with a few sets of some calisthenics, and that's how I combine my routines. That's a regular way in which I train. You know, I do these plyometric exercises first. I go against the grain, if you will. I'll do cardio. I do a ton of cardio before I strength train, and it may be going against, you know, the grain in the sense of depleting energy, burning energy, but I like to do that. I've always sort of took that approach. In my opinion, there are nothing like combining the two, whether it's you do the plyometrics after the calisthenic workout or before. So this is what I do. This is how I stay shredded. This is how I stay lean, explosive. Yeah, so again, I emphasize the mobility aspect of, while developing muscle, you know, getting size and all that, you still need to be agile, explosive, you know, have stamina, you know, balance, you know, so, and to be able to move in so many different ways. And for another example, when you're just doing regular forms of work, let's say on your home, you know, being able to hold the picture frame while you're nailing it to the wall, you know, we know that how easily your arms, your shoulders can get tired when we're doing those type of activities, those physical activities. And so I'm not saying plyometrics is gonna solely help with that level of functional strength, right? Within a much lighter but yet demanding way in which we need to function and operate, right? If you need to hold a piece of furniture for a long duration of time to place it on the dollies or whatever the case, again, you know, having that full optimization of your strength, your joints, your ligaments, you know, that you know, yeah, all those in-betweens that assist in you know, having big muscles, you know, strong muscles, performance, technique, you know, being unfazed with the work, if you will, right? I do this also, these type of workouts equip me with the energy on my day-to-day when I'm at the 9 to 5, when I'm needed, right, on a personal level of physical demand. I am never wiped out from doing such jobs, right? Because I have already equipped myself. I have already put the necessary demands. I have already took it to levels that are, I'm fully equipped, again, you know, to say the least. You get my point. So, you know, these exercises are very, very, very important to me. I do a lot of jump rope, as I said. That's how I stay lean. You know, that's how I choose to burn calories for the most part. The toe taps, jumping jacks. And again, jumping rope, jumping jacks, great for bone density, okay? So when you're aging and you know, if you are concerned with your bones becoming more fragile in a sense, You know, these exercises, again, the jump rope is great for bone density, okay? Because that vibration, that utilizing, you know, it's like the body keeps itself stronger, okay? Because there are microscopic tears, if you will, that go along with that, making your bones denser, right? So it's essentially, you know, in comparison, right? You know how they say broken bones heal stronger than they did before. That's pretty much what it is, you know, and that's where the bone density aspect really is a great benefit, right? As we become older and we want to maintain strong bones, right, in general. So I just wanted to say that again with the jump rope, these plyometric jumping jacks. So, you know, get with it. You see what I'm saying? And, you know, it's the best of both worlds. Plyometric strength training, the cardio, things of that nature. You know, like I said, I'm jumping over park benches. I'm jumping over gates. You know, I'm hopping off the back of the truck. I'm just saying, these are things that I do on a daily aspect of utilizing my body, right? So if you are in a position where you got to jump off something or whatever the case, you know, you have no hesitation to a degree, right? You'll go for it and know that you'll be okay, you know? So, and that's the beauty of being in great shape, right? It's having a high level of autonomy within our existence of being able to do for self, right? Being able to save yourself, if you will, right? So again, that's the importance of being in shape. That's the importance of, you know, keeping this temple at its optimum, right? It does a great deal for the focus and concentration, the equilibrium, right? To be perky, all right? To be perky, minus the pills, okay? And that's another thing, you know, when you're in shape and, you know, you fully alert, you know, you have the ability to scan your surroundings in swift motion, keep your head on the swivel, okay? To be able to move when necessary, you know what I mean? To get yourself out of danger, okay? Things of that nature, you know? So this is why we do that, again, to have a high level of autonomy to produce and to, you know, keep yourself safe by way of self-defense, by way of, you know, bracing yourself in a situation that calls for you to have to utilize your strength to get out of a situation. Ready for whatever, you know what I mean? Yes, on that type of time, you know? Word. So yeah, you know, yeah, y'all, we just finished, you know, for those who just entered the chat, I appreciate y'all. I see y'all. I thank you, you know, for hitting that like button as you have done. If you choose to subscribe, you see, you know, much gratitude in advance. But yeah, so we do this for a reason. And now it's raining too, so it was the perfect time for me to come out here. They said it was gonna rain. I didn't let that stop me. You know, I'm still full of energy. I might not go get no calisthenics in right now at this point. What I will do is later on, because I got a few things that I got to take care of before 3. But I want to hit the gym. So I'm going to see if I could do that. You know, I never know. I'm not done. We just finished. I just finished the 12-pound burpees. We did 200 plus more, okay, for the sets that I lost count of. You know, we cashed out on that a little earlier, but yet and still benefited a great deal. You saw the clean performance, okay? That's another factor, all right? Let's move a little bit. This, yeah. So, you know, you see the clean movement, okay, in which it was performed, all right? That's just what it was today. I really like to keep my burpees at a 300 rep minimum, but that just wasn't the case today, and that's okay. The important thing is that I showed up, you know, and that's the thing, you know, a day like this, and it's gonna be a major contribution to tomorrow, to the next day after, okay, the next week after, all right? So I'm always prepping now for an hour from now, you know, things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? So we always got to be in pre-prep mode by standing firm on our square, doing what's necessary so that as we move along throughout our navigation of this planet Earth, you know what I'm saying? You know, we are in an optimum frequency within. You know what I mean? Yeah, on that type of time. On that type of time, y'all. You know, life is beautiful, and that's what I was saying last night. If you missed the live last night, I just had a few words to say. You know, when I have those dialogues, and it's like the universe is talking to me and just say, yo, go connect with the people right quick. And that's exactly what I do, you know? That's exactly what I do. But yeah, I ain't do those in a while though. With those weighted burpees, give them a try. You can start off with 5-pound weights. I mean 12. You know, when you doing that type of exercise, I mean, listen, that burn increases. I mean, you start off and you got it, but I tell you, you know what I'm saying? As with each burpee, you know what I'm saying, that weight get a little heavier. You know what I'm saying? That tension really builds up. And it's not just the physical, again, going back to the coordination, keeping your mind within that you know, keeping your mind in that rhythm, in that technique, in that great form. You know what I'm saying? It's a big deal, you know, in terms of getting the best benefits from the exercise. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that thing started to rain. I left my weights over there. I'm gonna grab them joints when before I leave, cause I can't carry all of this with the tripod. You know what I'm saying? So once I close out on this live, I'll go back over there and get my belongings. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. You know, that was a great 200 real quick, nice and clean. Tell you, have my heart rate up, you know, and it makes me more hungrier. You know what I'm saying? It makes me more hungrier to get more the next time around. You know? That's what it do. It make me hungrier. Yeah. That was a nice, in 40 minutes. 40 minutes, 200 with the weighted. Might I add again? It's real. It's definitely real. Yo, I appreciate y'all. Yo, thank you, Ralph. Thank you all. You feel what I'm saying? You know, I thank y'all for showing up, for giving me that support, to, you know, allow me to share with you, you know, my passion, my joy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we definitely reciprocating. You know, I reciprocate with those who take the time out of your day, you know, of your progress, you know, things of that nature. So, you know, salute to the chat. But of course, you know, yeah. But I'm gonna keep reiterating to y'all, you know, as much as I'm able to show up, you know, that goes without saying. I just want to make that clear. It goes without saying. Excuse me, for sure. You know, we out here. Big ups. Yes, to you as well, my friend. Yeah, so these are some powerful exercises, and it's for those who are serious enough to complete, you know, a high rep count, even if it's not within the reps itself. Give yourself a high set count, and that's a great way to meet the goals of getting a great amount of reps. You know, if you can't necessarily get a high rep count within the set, increase your sets, all right? So if you can only do 10 of the burpees or 5, if you can only do 5 burpees, do 30 sets. Do 30 sets and put the sets back to back as much as you can, all right? I got a couple of 20 straight. Those is no joke. You know what I'm saying? The most I've done straight with those with the weighted was 100 straight. You know, today is not that day. Every day is not necessary to go those lengths. Unless, of course, you are conditioned in such a way that that's just your regular. You know what I'm saying? And many people are, you know, on that level. You know what I'm saying? But for the sets and reps, I just want to share that as a reminder, you know what I'm saying, of a great way to, you know what I'm saying, hold yourself accountable and stay the course and meet those numbers of what you have set for yourself to achieve in your routine and give yourself more. So I did actually more than the 200. You see what I'm saying? Because those sets that I miscount, you know, are still benefited from. I mean, I just cashed out, as I said. You know, I cashed out on those, but the money was achieved, you know? So that's what it is, y'all. You know what I'm saying? For real. You know, so we're gonna definitely do what we need to do for these cold seasons that are pretty much amongst us. You know, it'll be getting colder, so suit up. You know, appreciate you. Yes, sir. You know, so suit up. Let's get ready. You know, because it's going to be a cold winter. You dig? But we're going to turn the heat up. You know, we're going to turn the heat up. That's without a doubt. That's without a doubt. And I got the stupid pump from doing those, okay? Great for the blood flow, for me at least. Again, even those soft tissues on the inside, we can't forget about, you know, everything that, you know, those soft tissues is what keep the body together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got the ligaments, the joints, the tendons. I just want to add on with that. Right, turn up. That type of time. Excuse me. Excuse me, y'all. Pardon me on that. But yeah. You know, so yeah, we're gonna turn it up. But yeah, so everything that make up, you know, those soft tissues, again, you know, and all of that is involved in being your strongest self. You know what I'm saying? You know, so the beauty of your physical vehicle tend to that. You know, that's why we do this. Good for that brain. You know? Like I said, you know, to be perky like a meerkat. Not like the pill, like a meerkat. Be perky like a meerkat. You see how that meerkat be on that mound? Because once that meerkat, see, they got to roll. But I'm talking about once they on that mound, they doing the knowledge. So, you know, when you nice, when you fit, when you healthy, when you on the up and up, that's what I say. You gotta be perky without the pill. You know, we're gonna stay elevated. Straight like that. We're gonna stay elevated. You know? I'm just taking the time out real quick to build with y'all, just to, you know, sort of, you know, catch up on what it is I haven't been able to, get to in terms of investing in the channel, right? With the all the work that has been done off camera. So we'll have whatever time is able to take advantage of as of now. But anyway, you get what I'm saying is when you your best self, you on your square, and damn near can't be toppled over, all right? And that's pretty much what it is, y'all. So I got a few things on the list. Like I said, I'm gonna try to go get this workout in at the gym later on, but I'm gonna see how the day go. That 200 right there, sometimes that's all that's needed too. Let me just say that. And I said also, I shared, been shortening the time frame in which I've been working out. So I'm still getting the best benefits, the great benefits from the work, because I'm keeping a short break in between, right? I'm doing what the perform exercise is needed in the correct manner. And I'm very serious with completing the routine at hand, right? So it's been working out for me a great deal. And like I said, it's been like since, I would say, about the last 2 weeks, I damn near been only taking 1 day off a week. At least that's what it feels, because I work out so much. I actually lose track of the days that I do take off. You know what I'm saying? So, and lately, I just, the amount of energy in a short amount of time, it's like I can't even get enough, So, compared to when I work out, a lot of times I could easily drag it out for 2 hours, because I love it so much. But when I'm off camera, a lot of times I'm doing many different things. I'm doing the jump rope, the resistant bands. I'm just feeding and feeding, whatever it is that the body is communicating and asking for. I'm giving into what that is, what it wants. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. So, and it's a beautiful feeling, and I can't emphasize it enough. It really, I of course can't put it in a bottle. It's something. It requires somebody to be able to tap in on the inside. And we hear that all the time, and we know, because we all feel and have some desire for something. So whatever it is that turns that light on the inside, that's all up to the individual. You know what I'm saying? But one thing for sure, my appetite constantly grows for another set, for another rep, for another routine, And it's a beautiful feeling when you have whatever it may be on a positive note, that what they say is passion, but and if that's what it is, that whatever that may be for you to want to do every single day, and if you're able to earn from that too. Let me not leave that out before I close out. Is that if you can make a living, and that's a beautiful thing for something that you love to do. You hear it from people that give that feedback of that way of life. So anyway, I said a lot, you know what I'm saying? Can't get enough of this. Yes, sir, I feel, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Let's have, just that gratitude of life. I'm gonna leave it at that. Don't take life for granted. That's the type of time I'm on also. I've been saying that or I've been saying that lately. I don't know, that's just been, in my mind. So I share it with you. Yo, I'm out of here though. Like I said, I appreciate y'all. We just did the 200 burpees real quick on the closeout. We did the 200 burpees, weighted, the 12-pound dumbbells. And we did that within 40 minutes. That was completed, 40 minutes. And incorporate those plyometrics. It will do you so many great benefits, all right? Catch you on the next go-around. And I appreciate y'all. Say that again. Peace.